In our last episode, Rocky had a dickens of a time trying to get Bullwinkle's shirt out of a Shanghai Chinese laundry.
But we've come all the way from Minnesota for this shirt.
I don't care if you come all the way from United States. No tiki, no shirty.
The moose and the squirrel weren't the only ones with a problem.
I agree, Boris. Toy watch that is miniature atom bomb is great weapon in hands of diabolical person.
I think any one of those adjectives fit me.
But how you got watch past sharp-eyed custom agents?
I got accomplice.
And what the villainous scoundrel had done was to hide the watch in a shirt package with explicit instructions that the package was to be handed over to anyone who said,
"Perhaps you would rather I'd be John Philip Sousa."
Those were the right words.
You take a package and let 'em out of here.
Don't you worry, sir. We don't have much time left.
Less time than they think, for the rude handling had started the mainspring, and the watch was set to go off when the hands reached 12. Meanwhile, in the secret back room...
What can be keeping Confederate?
Looks like him now.
And through the peephole, she saw a huge, sinister Chinese enter the shop and deliver the secret words.
"Perhaps you Lada I be John Philip Sousa."
I no care if you lad la lock. You got shirts to clean. You heard him give secret words. You give package. No can do. Package in question just went out front door.
I tried to tell you, Boris, but you...
What do you mean package went out front door?
Hey, you. No interrupt, lady.
Looky here, Snooky. Oh, boy. Accomplice I had is big one.
Boris, please to clam up. That's better. Now, Moose and Squirrel picked up package.
Moose and Squirrel?
And the startled fiend darted out of the laundry, followed closely by Natasha, Wonton Lee, and the proprietor of the laundry who had not been paid by Rocky or Bullwinkle.
You go this way, I'll go that. You take the high road and you... Who's minding the store?
Well, they split up and went in different directions, but Shanghai is a difficult city not to get lost in, as Rocky and Bullwinkle soon discovered.
Hey, this doesn't look like the airport.
You're right. It looks more like a river.
Yes, they had wandered into Shanghai's notorious waterfront district.
I got it. The China Clipper.
At a time like this, who needs a haircut?
There was no time to explain, for suddenly Boris, Natasha, and Wonton converged upon the area.
This is Charlie Blue Leader. Any sign of Moose and Squirrel?
Abel Baker Charlie here. No, I don't see them. Hokey smoke, it's our old nemesis.
And there wasn't even any time to work out a pun, for the enemy was closing in.
They got to be somewhere near here.
Don't worry, Boris. We get shirt package back from them.
Why, those sly devils. They're after my shirt.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
Well, I could reword it.
Quick, down this catwalk.
Alas, because of the darkness, Rocky mistook a gangplank for a catwalk. What's more, they kept on going until they were in the hold of a broken-down Chinese junk.
I'll give you odds we're not in the Hilton Hotel.
Shh! Boy, I can't figure it out. We combed the entire city with fine-tooth comb and still no sign of Moose and Squirrel.
Well, you leave such to me. I catch 'em then. Chop, chop.
Sounds like they're leaving.
Sounds like we are, too.
Yes, the junk slowly drifted out into the river. And who was at the helm? Wonton Lee, accompanied by you-know-who. Well, this is a turbulent situation, to say the least. Don't miss our next episode, Up the River, or Yangtze with a Laughing Face.
You wait till your mother sees what you've done to your new Sunday toga, Junior.
Well, don't blame it on me, Pop. Blame it on Skinny Flavius's dog.
Skinny Flavius's dog is only 6 weeks old.
But that briar patch in our backyard isn't.
Is that what tore your toga?
Uh-huh. The dog was chasing me, and I jumped over the fence without looking.
By overlooking the briar patch, you overlook one of my most wisest sayings. Look before you leap.
Gosh, is that one of yours?
Yes, it is, and so is this fable. The country frog and the city frog. Once there was a frog, a poor country frog. His only possession was a small farm on which the only thing he could grow were gopher holes.
I got holes in my farm, holes in my shoes, and a hole in my head, or I wouldn't still be here.
That was the year the world discovered the game of golf.
4!
And as anyone can tell you, the object of the game is to put the ball in a hole. That was also the year there was a shortage of holes, but not on the frog's farm.
I'll give you 50,000 cash for 18 holes.
I'll make it 60,000.
The frog sold every gopher hole on his farm and overnight amassed a huge fortune.
I'm going to take me a roll of nickels, and I'm going to the big city. I'm going to have me a time.
And then he saw it. The Bijou Theater directly across the street. And on the marquee, the frog gets 50 beautiful dancing frogs. After purchasing a ticket, which incidentally was only a nickel, he took a seat in the very front row.
I have done died and gone to heaven.
One gorgeous creature in particular caught his fancy, the star of the show, Amphibian. Her performance so unnerved the simple frog that he began popping nickels into his mouth, thinking they were jelly beans. Amphibian had seen a lot of big spenders, but this looked like the biggest of them all.
By grannies, Miss Fabian, sure was neighborly of you to let me buy you this here expensive dinner.
I worship the bank you keep your money in, honey.
A mad courtship followed. Money was no object when it came to Amphibian. She spent nickels like they were pennies. There were nights at the opera, days at the races, and afternoons in the fur shop.
Buy me that Alaskan seal, would you, sweetheart?
How much is it?
Only 20,000 nickels.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Needless to say, it wasn't long before the frog was down to his last nickel.
What are we going to do tonight, Frog, honey?
Well, I thought we'd go somewhere and make a phone call. Talk to the operator, things like that.
Let's get something straight, big boy. If you want me to be your honey, you got to spend lots of money.
Well, in that case, you wait right here, you hear?
In an effort to raise money fast, he took the first job to come along, which happened to be in a circus.
Only thing we need right now is a high diver.
Tell me what to do.
You see that 5,000-foot platform? Dive off of that into this bucket.
Ain't that a mite dangerous?
Yeah, but it pays good.
Willing to risk anything, the frog ascended the ladder and poised athletically at the edge of the platform.
Ain't exactly leap year, but here goes.
The little frog jumped out into space and plunged like a rocket toward the bucket far below. But as luck would have it, the weather suddenly changed. A cold snap set in, and the water in the bucket froze solid. Well, there's nothing new about a frog diving into a bucket of ice, so he was fired.
What in the blue-eyed world am I gonna do? If I don't find me some money, I'll...
And then he saw it. In the gutter was a nickel.
Maybe my luck has changed.
He put the nickel in a weighing machine, and instead of a fortune, 2 nickels came out. Flushed with his newfound wealth, he dashed into a phone booth to call Amphibian. But instead of getting her number, 3 nickels fell out. On a bus that would take him to Anne's apartment. He dropped the 3 nickels into the coin receiver, and out came a transfer. He was as broke as ever.
Annie, honey, I'm Nicholas.
I don't care what your front name is, honey. I got news. Your broker sold the last of your gopher holes. Here's 10,000 nickels.
Hot, Ziggy, let's us go make a long-distance phone call.
Oh, no, you don't. This wouldn't last me a fortnight. You're going to enter a frog jumping contest and will win a fortune.
But, Annie, baby, I can't jump.
You won't have to, Green Eyes. We'll bet on another frog.
And so on the day of the jumping contest, the little frog took his place on the starting line.
Now remember, love, don't jump a foot. You'll lose and we'll win.
He had to make it look good, so he took a few steps back to get set for a false effort. But not looking where he was going, he backed into a bush on which sat a bee. And the frog took off on the longest jump ever recorded by man. He won the contest, but he lost his money and Amphibian. So you see, Junior, look before you leap.
I got a better one, Pop.
Don't you always? All right, let's have it.
Once bitten, twice spry.
No, go play in the briar patch, son.
this is Shanghai, China, a city that has given our heroes a few bad moments. For instance, they started out by going to Ed Fuyung's Chinese laundry to pick up Bullwinkle's shirt.
My name is Bullwinkle J. Moose, and I believe you have a package for me.
Bullwinkle? That very silly name.
Well, perhaps you would rather I be John Philip Sousa.
And it just so happened that those words were to be spoken by an accomplice of Boris Badenov. Thus, instead of getting his shirt, Bullwinkle received another package containing a miniature atom bomb in the form of a toy wristwatch. Well, when Boris found out about it...
Quick, get me a can of cleanser.
For why you want that, darling?
We got to scour the city.
And in a matter of minutes, a gigantic search was launched throughout the greater Shanghai area.
Bullwinkle, we gotta get our bearings.
Let's skate later, Doc. I have to attend my testimonial dinner by Saturday night.
Instead of the airport, they had stumbled into the river section.
I got itty-bitty hunch feeling that Moose Squirrel and shirt package are in vicinity.
Capture seemed imminent until Rocky and Bullwinkle found refuge in the hold of a tottering junk.
Where'd they find this thing? In a junkyard?
The junk pulled out into the river, and it appeared as though our lads were free of their pursuers. Alas, that's when we took a look up on deck.
You may rely on 1 ton. If those we chase are on liver, I find a plenty click.
I was on liver once. Good for iron in the blood.
Dispense with the levity, Natasha. Unless we get that toy watch back, we are sunk.
They might be sunk anyway, for the junk was listing to port.
That's better than Muscatel.
Meanwhile, below decks...
Say, Rock, notice anything strange about my shirt?
How can I? We're in the dark and the shirt's in the package.
I know, but it's ticking.
Indeed it was, and the bomb was set to go off at 12.
Maybe the laundry gives free prizes away.
I'll open it right after I climb out of the pool.
Huh?
Yes, the keel had split and the river was coming in.
Quick, Bullwinkle, up on deck.
Boris, look.
Grab 'em.
Well, you just don't gallivant about the deck of a sinking junk and not lose your footing.
Whoa!
Seconds later, everyone was stroking for the mainland.
Swim faster, Bullwinkle.
Listen, if you think I'm going to get my shirt wet, you got another thing coming.
Oh, if only he would get it wet, for it was 5 minutes to 12 and the bomb was already activating.
Faster, Natasha, faster.
How can I swim faster with you on my back?
Well, one of us got to steer.
All this time, 1 Ton Lee had gotten into a motorized life raft and had reached dry land way before anyone else. He was waiting with open arms when Bullwinkle staggered out of the river and said,
Perhaps you would rather I be John Philip Sousa.
No, that was last time. This time you say...
Oh, yeah, we made it.
You make a 1 false move, you gunners.
It didn't take long for Boris to set up headquarters in a dilapidated shack.
Boy, the budget on this show is awful. A rotting junk, a dilapidated shack.
And you better believe old Poopsie Doopsie here, Moose. You will be in the same condition unless you tell what you did with the package.
Good work, Bullwinkle. You hid the package.
You're dang tootin' I did, and you'll never find it.
Yes, you've got to give Bullwinkle credit. Or do you? For he was sitting on it. And it was now 1 minute to 12. It may be a short show next time, but join us anyway for The Bomb in the Cellar or Bullwinkle Lowers the Boom.
And now for all you knowledge seekers, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hi there. Today's subject is how to open a jar of pickles. The simplest way to open a jar of pickles is to unscrew the lid, turning gently from left to right. Oh! If that doesn't work, turn it right to left. Oh! Well, there are other ways of opening it. Putting the jar under hot water will usually do the trick, and if you happen to be in Yellowstone Park, the best hot water comes up out of Old Faithful, the geyser. You place the jar right over the hole, taking care to be well clear before the geyser goes... When you get out of the hospital, you take a slightly different approach.
I got the hammer, Mr. Know-It-All.
Splendid, splendid. When the lid is tapped, it is certain to loosen. Now, when I nod my head, you hit it with the hammer.
Right, Bullwinkle. Huh?
I think I made that perfectly clear. I said, when I nod my head, hit it with the hammer.
If you say so.
Okay. I nod thusly and... If everything else fails, we climb to an altitude of 5,000 feet and hurl the jar and ourselves earthward. Pocahontas! But if you really want to open a jar of pickles...
Wait a minute, Mr. Know-It-All. That isn't a jar of pickles. That's a jar of jelly.
No wonder I couldn't open it. It's jammed.
A secret project was under construction on the mountain directly above the RCMP camp. And one day, Inspector Fenwick saw a sign that read...
Top secret. That means whatever's going on is a top secret program. Well, no one's going to violate top secret security while I'm Inspector. Send in Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties at once.
Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties reporting, sir.
Do-Right, undoubtedly you've noticed the activity that's going on directly above our camp. Well, I happen to know that it's top secret.
Could you speak up, sir?
Top secret! Confound you, Do-Right, keep your ears open. If this project were to be known to certain villainous types, the whole program would be for nothing.
What is the project, sir?
I don't know, Dudley. All I know is that it is top secret.
Mum's the word, sir.
What's the word, Dudley?
Mum, sir.
Oh, yes. Well, Dudley, to keep this certain villainous type from finding out about this top secret project.
Could you speak up, sir?
Top secret project!
What top secret project?
On the mountain directly above the RCMP camp, Nell.
Dudley, I thought you said Mum's the word.
Mum it is, sir.
Oh, well, Do-Right. I want you to watch Snidely Whiplash 24 hours a day. Never let him out of your sight, otherwise I am certain he will find out some way of wrecking the project.
Yes, sir, Inspector, and remember, Nell, Mum's the word.
All right. Mum, Dudley.
Mum, Nell.
There you are, sir, all finished.
Thank you, Baba.
Sorry to keep you waiting, sir.
But you don't understand.
Hey, impatient, eh? Well, this ain't gonna take long. There, now, that didn't take long.
Confound it, I've got to keep my eye on that man because Mum is the word.
That'll be $1.20, please. No tip.
That was delicious, waiter. Check, please.
The check, sir?
What's that? Oh, the check. But you see, I must follow that man because... Well, I can't tell you because Mum is the word.
I see. Mum, huh? Well, I won't tell a soul. Just pay the check.
But you don't understand. I haven't any money. You are letting arch-villain Snidely Whiplash get away.
Of course I'm letting him get away. He paid his check. Dudley? Dudley, I don't mind you picking up a little extra money, but not on mounted time. You were supposed to be watching arch-villain Snidely Whiplash, not freelancing dishwashing.
But, sir...
Quick, Do-Right, follow that man.
Is that an order, sir?
That's an order, Do-Right. All right, what happened to the guy who couldn't pay his check? Oh, you mean Dudley? Well, he's following his man. Well, that doesn't get the dishes done, now does it? Dishes? Yeah, somebody gotta finish those dishes to pay for his check. Do you have anyone in mind? Yeah, you. And I had a feeling he was going to say that.
Dudley Do-Right followed his man. No underworld dive could hide the elusive Snidely Whiplash from the Hawkeye's Hawkeye Do-Right of the Mounties.
Gee, Inspector, where did you get those rough red hands?
You should know, Dudley. At least if you don't pay your check, find a restaurant that uses soft detergent.
I'm sorry, Inspector.
Have you been keeping an eye on Snidely?
He's right over there, Inspector, eating a candied apple. Well, he was over there. That's funny.
Dudley, if I've washed those 3,041 dishes and you've lost Snidely Whiplash, I'm going to drum you out of the force.
I see him, Inspector.
Where is he, Dudley?
He's over there by the taffy pole.
Well, stick to him, man. Stick to him like glue.
And that's exactly what Dudley did. He stuck to Snidely like taffy. Finally, the big day arrived. The top secret project was finished, and at 3 o'clock was to be unveiled.
I want to tell you, Do-Right, you've done a splendid job in keeping an eye on Whiplash. I know you'll feel proud when the top secret project is unveiled to know that you had an important part in it.
It's 3 o'clock, sir.
Confounded Do-Right, it's all your fault. How can we function when arch-villain Snidely Whiplash is leering down on us like that?
What I can't understand is how he had the time to carve a big face like that. I've been with him all the time.
Well, I don't know how he did it, but I know one thing. You are going to climb up there and erase that big face, Do-Right, and I'm the double.
For days and days, Dudley worked on the mountain. And one day, it was finished.
Inspector, I did it.
Good work, Dudley. Is the face completely erased?
Better than that, Inspector. Look!
time for an explosive ending to our story, for last time, aboard this Chinese junk, Rocky and Bullwinkle still had possession of the package containing the miniature atom bomb.
And possession is 9/10 of the law.
The ticking sound bothered Rocky, but before he could investigate, the tide went out and the junk caved in.
Tide's in.
Shirts out.
Yes, the moose managed to keep the package dry, even when the junk sank and they were forced to swim to shore.
Use the butterfly stroke. It's faster.
You swim like a butterfly. I'll swim like a moose.
And the bomb ticked on with 0 hour minutes away. Fortunately, they made it safely to dry land. Or at least to dry land anyway.
You guys, honorable prisoner.
Yes, Badanov's hatchet man was Johnny on the spot.
Name Wampum, not Johnny.
Sorry. Later in a shack outside of town.
Tell me where you hid package or...
Oh, come on now. You know us good guys don't scare easy.
Well, us bad guys don't mind trying you out. Natasha, prepare the torture.
Oh, yes, I neglected to mention that Bullwinkle was sitting on the package, with detonation barely 1 minute away.
Bullwinkle, your shirt isn't worth it.
It's the dean of the thing, Rock.
You mean principal.
Yeah.
Ready with torture, Boris.
Roger Wilton, Natasha. Okay, start eating.
And the willing Natasha dug into the most scrumptious chocolate marshmallow strawberry banana split hot fudge sundae you ever saw.
Oh, mother of pearl. I can't stand it. I give up. I give up. Here, take the package.
Aha! The bad guys win again. Come, Natasha. You two, Wonton. Together we rule world.
What about us?
You no longer interest me, Inky Pinky Squirrel. Hurry, we may get away over city dump.
A deadly silence settled over the shack. Finally, Rocky, tired and wan from the recent ordeal, spoke.
Oh, there goes your shirt, Bullwinkle.
And there goes the city dump, Rock. Boy, they must have powerful garbage over there.
The dump did go up, and for days it came down right on Shanghai. Boris and Natasha and Wonton not only received minor powder burns, but 60 days in jail for disregarding the city anti-litter law.
Hey, food not bad here. You ought to try number 2 dinner.
As for Rocky and Bullwinkle, they straightened everything out with the authorities.
All right, we'll let you go back to Frostbite Floors on one condition.
You name it.
Promise to send shirts to Melican Laundries. They do good job, too.
With but hours remaining, our heroes boarded a jet and streaked for home, hoping they would arrive in time for the dinner honoring Bullwinkle.
You rush home and change into your white tie and tails, Bullwinkle. I'll stall the banquet.
It's no use, Rock. I don't have a clean shirt, and I won't appear in front of that crowd ill-fitted, so to speak.
Oh, for goodness sake, run on home. I'll get a shirt for you.
Well, on a Saturday night in Frostbite Falls, there wasn't a clean shirt to be found, not even a dirty one. Ah, but the mind of a flying squirrel is a resourceful one.
For $5, okay?
You got a deal, Rocky.
10 minutes later, after a heart-rending introduction...
And so you see, friends, if it hadn't been for my little pal Rocky, I might be the most embarrassed moose in the world. Yes, sir, that little guy would give you the shirt off his back. That is, if you were a size 3.
And now, here's that man with a nose for news, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thanks, Rock. It's also handy for breathing and ornamental purposes. Today, our subject is how to interview a scientist that is working on a secret project. We begin by finding a scientist.
Without a human subject to work on, the experiment is lost. But who would be stupid enough?
Pardon me, sir, but are you a scientist? Point 2 is to be subtle about getting to the subject of his project. If the project is secret, he may be reluctant to tell you. You doing anything interesting lately?
Certainly. Sit right here and I'll tell you all about it.
Let's see. Say, you mind if I ask you about your personal habits, problems, hobbies, and...
Certainly not. I just love to put this electronic ball on Moose's heads. It's a habit, a problem, and a hobby.
Fine. Now what about pets?
I'm glad you asked. My pet. Let's just put him here and put a nice ball on his head just like the one on yours. There.
Oh, yes. Is your current project related to the rocket field?
No.
Is your current project related to the atomic field?
No.
Well, what's the current then? The current. I want the current.
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, what happened? Now, how will you remember what the scientist is working on?
Oh, I can remember, Rock. I'm almost certain it is a brain transfer machine.